Well, this is Mr. McFall to talk about what to do for the e-learning day. So let's go through what to do. So you're going to complete 222. Hopefully you are already have completed 2.2.1. If not, you need to get that turned in as soon as possible. If you are having trouble getting it done online, you can email it to me um, or submit it when we come back if you need to on paper. But I prefer to get it sometime this week or as soon as possible. That really should have been done by Friday. I know we missed some time, so I'm definitely going to be very flexible on that due date. So, but get that turned in as soon as possible. In the 222 reproductive technology assignment, you see that here. Some of the classes or fourth period, we went through this a little bit, the two people that were there. So a lot of you have not looked at this yet. So I know first period, we didn't go through much of this. So if you look in 222, you're going to compare, you have the story of Maya and Armand Harris, who are going through in vitro fertilization because they've been having difficulties having a child. And so you'll look at this process. There's also a link here that will help you basically answer these questions about it. Same for pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. This is basically a process to which embryos, after they're made in vitro fertilization, can be examined for any genetic abnormalities so that only healthy embryos are going to be implanted for birth. And then finally, sperm sorting is another process. If you click on this link, it gives you some background on that. And this is mostly involved for helping determine which sperm are used for doing in vitro. Before doing in vitro, it's only choosing sperm that are either for males or females. Sometimes this could be to avoid a certain trait, such as hemophilia, which is X-linked. A mother who is a carrier, we can ensure that the offspring are not going to have that particular trait, for instance. And so that you read up on that as far as how that works. Reproductive technology careers, you see andrologists, reproductive endocrinologists, embryologists. These are all careers that are going to help with these types of procedures and enabling reproduction in events where reproduction is either challenging or where there's a higher risk for some sort of abnormality. And then the next story is about reproductive cloning. So you go back to the activity, reproductive cloning, and you have Marianne Waters. She wants to have a child of her own. She's never been able to conceive, so she's a report on cloning. And so there are some links here about cloning. Before you do these, I want you to kind of give like, what do you know about cloning? What do you wonder about cloning? What are your initial thoughts about cloning? And then there's a cloning timeline and how to clone an organism. Um, and so if you look down here, like these are like cloning fact sheets and the history of cloning. This will help you with the timeline, the history of cloning, and this tells you what cloning is. And think of cloning as basically taking a cell. If I go to this link, and you take a cell from an individual, they're an exact genetic copy. And of course, identical twins are clones of each other because you start with one cell and it divides into two. But there is, and here are some videos that kind of show how this is done in artificial cloning or somatic cell nuclear transfer. And these have been done in um, lab settings with other animals, other vertebrate animals like sheep. The big one was Dolly the sheep in 1997. Basically, you're removing the genetic information from the nucleus of a normal body cell and implanting that information, the DNA, into the egg cell of a mother, and then then that would be implanted in the mother, and she would carry it, and so then it would have exactly the same DNA as the donor egg. All right, and we'll talk more about it in class and everything. So the other thing is, and I the other thing is for like big picture, the last week, assuming last week is going to be the week of February 22nd, we're going to have some sort of open notes assessment where there's questions will be in class. Um, Most likely this will be on Wednesday, the 24th. Um, so depending upon weather and how much school and all the things we get in this week, and when ISTEP testing happens and all that, that could change. But here, this is a review though. If you click on this, this is a link that takes you to a study guide up for the two sections, 2.1 and 2.2. So we'll talk more about that, but just in case you want to kind of go over those things, um, they can be found right here. So that is it. Just get 221 and 222 in as soon as possible in Canvas, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Thanks.